voting for just to pull F, G, and J from the consent agenda. Vice Mayor Galvin,
Yes.
Mayor Thundro,
No.
Councilman Bename,
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilwoman Steril.
Yes.
Okay, items of poll voted 4-1. That was approved. Now, what do we do with the others?
With others.
Can
Throw them out?
Yeah,
we maybe let her?
That was-
Can we maybe let her ask a question or something, and then we know? Like,
It's up to the mayor. Yeah.
Simple I don't know if, Mayor, I don't know. It's up to you how you want to proceed with these.
Well, we need to start by reading the first item on the agenda.
But we still have the consent agenda to vote on. That's the
I
confusing
thought
part.
we just did.
No, we didn't. I mean,
Exactly. That's Mayor. Let me tell you.
So-
That's the confuse. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, Mayor, I believe maybe if someone would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, minus those items that have been removed, would be most helpful.
But what would we minus them when they are already minus? They're not going to consent agenda.
That's what we said. We said
You've
we're gonna
removed
vote
certain
to-
items from the consent agenda.
I'll-
So at this
I'll
point,
propose a motion that we approve item A, B, C, H, and I as the consent agenda.
I think there's some more.
My motion is consent agenda, A as in apple, B as in boy, C as in cat, H, and I as consent. And then we
Second
can-
it.
What about O?
Yes.
O has not the roof.
I'll come back to O.
Okay.
I'm just,
Virginia, how are we gonna do this?
no. Back to O.
Is-
Okay. Someone needs to make a motion to approve
The
the
consent
current
agenda.
consent agenda.
I move to approve the current consent agenda.
Okay.
Which current?
second for
The way it
discussion.
is?
God,
Yes.
gee, we gotta do this. Second for discussion. Again, items K, L, M, N, not O. Okay, not O. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here.
Vice Mayor, we just voted on those items that you asked to be removed.
Right.
So now we need to vote on the consent agenda. Now, Councilwoman Steril just made a motion, you second it.
For discussion, and so here was my
What's discussion again? Because we already removed the items from the manager's report, and then we just voted on the other items that you wanted to be removed from it. So now the remaining ones, this is what we are voting on now.
But here's my question.
Okay?
Items K, L, M, and N are all related to J. Can we allow the question that the councilwoman had on J to be asked? Because they're all almost exact replicas, and that will let me understand.
My question is really simple. I can say it in 10 seconds. On J, the price quoted is $875 per,
800?
we got the breakdown, and on this property, for a roof slope, it's $875 per square something, I assume a foot. On all other contracts, and we have 13 square, so it's $11,375. On all other contracts, they're quoting $450. So my only question is, why is this one property almost double, which is a big number, 11,000?
It's consistent because, through the mayor, Councilwoman Keys, it's because that roof is a tile roof, and the tile roofs per square footage is different from the shingle roofs.
Okay, that doesn't say anything like that on the backup. It doesn't say anything about tile roof, or the other one's not being tile roof.
Okay. I think maybe you didn't get the email, but you had asked that question, and we had sent you an email to explain that. Perhaps you didn't get it, but it's because it's a barrel tile roof.
And none of the other ones are?
No.
So it's twice as much.
Yes.
And so each one of these, J through N, are different residences. That's why they're each separated.
They're different agreements, and they have to be presented separately.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Would you like a roll call vote, Mayor? or-
Yes.
To approve consent agenda with the exception. I have a question.
No
for
exception,
the
just the
Consent
agenda.
agenda, Mr. Clerk.
Okay. All the consent agenda. Vice
Yes.
Mayor Galvin.
Yes.
Mayor Thundro.
Yes.
Councilman Bieneme.
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sterried.
Yes.
Consent agenda has been approved 5-0.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Clerk, you want to read the first item on the
Yeah.
agenda?
Resolution P. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement in substantially the attached form between the city of North Miami and CES Consultants, Inc. as the consultant for the provision
Sorry,
of
where are we?
That the
P as in
first.
Peter.
P as in Peter?
tab P. Sorry.
P or K?
P is in Peter. As a consultant for the provision of civil engineering services in connection with 2 sanitary sewer force mains running along Northwest 12th Avenue from Northwest 95th Street to Northwest 125th Street in accordance with request for qualifications number 38-09-10, continuing professional architectural and engineering services in the amount not to exceed $199,984.87, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Move approval?
Second. Anyone wishes to record a no?
Mayor, you may want to open public hearing.
Nobody wants to discuss it.
It's public.
Public hearing is open on tab P. Public hearing is now closed. Anyone wishes to record a no?
Item passes 5-0. Tab Q. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Mayor and the City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute a second amendment to property management services agreement in substantially the attached form between the City of North Miami and Joe Celestine Civil Engineer and General Builder, LLC, for a term of 1 year at a cost not to exceed $25,000 per month, in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the request for proposal number 46-10-11, property management services for vacant commercial property, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second purpose of discussion. Questions?
I'll start.
Go ahead. Well, let's open public hearing
Oh,
on it,
sure,
and
sure.
then we discuss. Public hearing is now open. Public hearing is closed on this item. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I've been confused for a long time on our arranged split of this with Alita Partners. If we're paying him $25,000 a month under this deal, that's going to make him the highest paid city employee alone by itself. But I understand that Alita Partners is contractually bound to pay him a matching $25,000 a month.
No.
Is that accurate or is that not accurate?
That, through the mayor, councilman, that's inaccurate. The contract, what we had negotiated is to recoup some of those fundings. So that comes to our general fund. It won't be added to this contract. It's just the way we were able to recoup our funds, the $300,000.
So the new contract is that we pay him and we pay him only. No more does he get anything matching from Alita Partners.
That's correct.
Okay. And I guess my biggest concern is I want to be able to vote yes on this. My biggest concern, though, was that it wasn't bid. And I know we put the bid out and then the council voted to retract the bid, but I just would have felt a whole lot better if we'd let this go through the bid process and see who
Sure.
submitted.
Through the mayor, councilman, if I can correct that, this did go out to bid. This
Right.
went out to bid last year. Mr. Celestine was awarded the contract. He was awarded the contract for a 3-year term. So basically, this is year 2 of that contract. What I had done, because this was a new council, the contract, like all contracts, I had elected to allow this council to make a decision on large contracts like this. And it was decided at the last council meeting to proceed with the existing RFQ that went out and to continue the second year of this 3-year contract. So it did go out. We're just continuing as normal to award him year 2 of 3.
But didn't we just 2 weeks ago vote to rescind a bid that was on the street? I mean, I looked it up live hot on the city's website.
Absolutely.
It said, bid on the, you click on bids and it said
Sure.
bid services at Biscayne Landing, so we voted to rescind that.
You voted to rescind it and to continue, you directed me to continue with this 3-year contract and to put year 2 of 3 on this agenda.
Thank you. No, I don't.
And also the idea behind that is that we are in the middle of crisis with Olita partners, and I believe, in fact, it would not be a good idea to go ahead and let that thing going 3 months, 6 months without any supervision. Or, we've find out so many things because of Mr. Celestine. Watch. He was there pointing out what was going wrong over there, and and we're still discussing.
And I have a
this.
question.
I'd like to ask a question.
I have a
Sure.
question.
Okay, I agree with Councilman Galvin that we should have finished our bids. I did request a list of who bid. I understand there were other people that bid. Mr. Celestine did find the fill, and my one question is, he knew back in February, between January and March, that that fill was being placed on the property, yet he never told anybody except maybe Mr. Johnson. I think it should have been brought to the attention of the council. He knows all of us. He's not shy, and I don't know why it wasn't.
He wasn't on the council in February.
But he didn't advise the existing council either.
Yes, he did.
He told you that they were bringing in, and you did nothing about it.
Yes, he
We
did.
stopped that since May.
Yeah.
No, we
That's-
did not
that's-
find out about this till there was a hearing in September.
That's how he got into the hearing, because of his complaint with the city manager, and then they took it before Durham.
No, I don't think he told us. The second
You were
question.
not elected back then, remember?
Pardon me?
You were not here back then.
Oh, I wasn't here.
Neither was I.
gone. I never attended a meeting, so I don't know. The second thing is, I believe we do have staff in our city who works at Biscayne Landing who is capable of doing the same work in-house, and at this point, we could be saving approximately $300,000 because Alita, I did speak to Alita Partners, and they said they would continue to make the $125,000 payment to the city. So, on a business standpoint, I think we should have seen what the other bidders were, who they were, and also entertain maybe continuing this on a month-to-month, but also look in-house and see if we can't save $300,000 a year.
I have a question.
Yes, Councilman Bieneme.
By the way, and Olita partner is not the one that's got to make the decision. We make decisions. And I have a question. We paid them $25,000, right? But half of the money is being paid by Olita partners, right?
No.
No.
120.
We get back 125, so they
From
pay
them.
170. The city's paying 175.
Okay.
Wait, you
And
just
they're
got
paying-
done telling me that we didn't pay, we're not splitting half with them. But let's
No.
No,
not.
No, that's
Let's
not
explain. No.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
It's 25,000 total. 175 from the city, 125 from Olita partner.
So we are splitting it with them.
Councilman,
No, your question
No,
was
your question
whether
was
that
25
getting
plus.
an extra 25,000 from Olita Partners.
Okay,
That's what
so
was
I got the
question is.
nuance wrong and my misunderstanding, but the theory is still the same. We're paying half, Alita Partners is paying half.
Yeah, it's about that.
175, 120, yes.
We're paying 55%, they're paying 45%.
Correct.
Who does he answer to, us or them?
He answers to us.
Okay,
Let me make a point of clarification. Mr. Celestine does not get a check from Alita Partners, period. His check comes from the city. During the negotiation of the lease, I was able to get the developer to pay me extra. It was $100,000 for administrative costs and an additional $125 to help me pay for this contract. So, but Mr. Celestine answers to us. His contract is with the city. His payment comes from the city. It was just being unique to lighten the burden on the city to negotiate that in the lease. So he is not beholden to anybody to us. This contract is with us. He doesn't answer to them. Their money comes directly to us. It goes into general fund, and we pay Mr. Celestine one check. He
right.
gets.
That was really what I was getting at, is that
Okay.
split that I always understood was out there, and I kept hearing, no, it's not split, it is split, it isn't split, and
Okay.
now I understand it more fully. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
sorry, Councilman, I didn't mean to jump in on you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
This is on tab Q.
Tab Q, sir.
Councilman Bieneme.
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys.
No.
Councilwoman Steril.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
No?
Mayor Thundro.
Yes.
Item passes 3-2. Tab R. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the ranking results of the selection committee and the selection of G. Batista and Associates as the highest ranked firm for the provision of design-built services for the Police Athletic League, PAL, training facility in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications of request for proposals number 34-12-13, further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement for the provision of stated services with G. Batista and Associates. And in the event negotiations fail, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with D. Stevenson and Design to form as the second highest ranked firm. And in the event negotiations fail, authorizing the city manager and the city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with the next highest ranked firm until such time an agreement is fully negotiated, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Public hearing is now open. Public hearing is now closed. Any motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Questions?
I have questions.
Yes, ma'am.
One, I'd like a little explanation because we approved 900,000. I understand the bids came in over, all of the bids came in over the asking price. So I want to be clear, if we pick a contractor this evening, how do we get them back down to the bidding price? And second, I would just like to mention that back in March, Mayor Joe Celestine advised his firm would complete construction for the building at cost, materials, and insurance, donating labor. This is the minutes from our March 12th meeting. So Mayor Celestine came up, advised the
Are we on
council.
tab R, Ms. Keys?
This is from a year ago.
Yeah,
I'm just
Are we
mentioning
on tab R?
yeah, when we,
Yeah.
For
Celestine,
for the PAL training
Batista
facility.
and Associate, for the PAL, construction of PAL?
Yes.
Okay, say that again.
Okay. When everybody was coming up asking the previous council for the funding for PAL, Mayor Celestine got up and stated that he would complete the construction for the building at cost, materials, and insurance, and donating his labor. I think when a mayor comes up and makes a statement and a promise to our council, and possibly our council makes a decision based on that promise, I'm a little disappointed that Mr. Celestine did not even bid.
For which building are you talking about? Because
PAL
I know that
building.
they did the groundbreaking
The PAL
sometime
building.
last year.
This was to get
Sometime
funding.
this year, they did some groundbreaking at the location where the PAL was going to be built.
Right.
So
But-
are
but
you
we-
talking about an existing building?
No, I'm talking about when the council approved last March 2013 to give PAL the $1 million to build the building. Mayor Celestine, thank you, you promised to construct the building.
If the
So
mayor
you-
allow me, I think it's
It's just a
necessary that I came up here to ratify, because I've been sitting back there fueling, because a little while ago, I heard Councilman Galvin said I make $25,000 per month. I'm the highest paid employee. When in reality, my firm, who has employee working on the site, full-time, get paid $25,000. Not me, my firm. We have full-time employees that goes to work in the morning, they're there working, with 3 people working on the site.
Mr.
I have to pay
Celestin,
taxes and
Mr.
insurance,
Celestin,
yes.
Mr. Celestin.
I want to make,
We've
I want
already
to,
discussed this,
Okay.
voted on it, please move on.
but I want to make the correction.
If
Okay.
you have any,
Okay,
if you have
yes.
any clarification to give regarding the statement made by Councilman Galvin and Keys, would you please go and let's do it quick?
Yeah, I did make that offer. Only, the offer is still standing. However, when you guys wanted transparency, the city had decided, instead of paying me, instead of buying material to allow me to do it, the manager had decided that to put everything up for bid. My offer still is standing, to offer my professional knowledge to do it for cost. That's what I made, and I'm here standing before you. But if you do that, you will have to forego the bidding process, and said you're gonna pay cost to get it done, because at that time you had an architect that was there. And what I did, I met with the PAL people. I give my time at no charge and explain to them the best way to do this is to do a design build, where whoever they get to design build it, all the liability goes to the designer, where the city would not incur any additional expenditures. But as far as my offered, still standing.
Thank you. I wanted clarification, because I want to make sure that we are exploring all our options and seeing what is the best for the city. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The bid packet, the packet that we received that goes along with item Q tonight doesn't have any of their actual bids submitted. It has the staff's ranking sheets, and we see the formulas that they use to rank the different firms, but it doesn't actually have any documentation as to what their presentations were. So it says they made
I was
oral-
here during the presentation. They were all here in the chamber making presentations to
Right.
several firms that have bid on it, and I came to the presentations.
I mean, and that's great. I mean, I'm sorry I wasn't.
And there was a
able to-
committee also that was affected by the purchasing department, who made the recommendation.
Right.
Any members of the committee here, Mr. City Manager?
Yes,
Can I
and the purchasing director
can I
is
hear?
here.
Can we hear from them, please?
Sure.
Thank
And
you.
she can give you, I guess, their price of, there was a component. There was the price.
Right.
if
I've
you-
read that. My concern is that I see all the formulas, I see their rankings, I see their numbers, but there's nothing from any of the firms that are up, including the one that we're perhaps awarding it to tonight, that says, you say 900,000, but I've heard through the grapevine that they submitted bids that were above that 900,000. I don't know if that's accurate, because nothing that they submitted is in this packet.
Sure. Ms. Johnson can come up and she can let you know what the companies actually bid for the project, which was only one of the components. So
Right.
that's the information that's missing.
Right. My concern was just that there's nothing from the companies. There's lots of stuff from staff, but nothing from the companies.
Okay.
So I didn't know.
If you can just tell us what each company bid for the project.
Give me 1 second, please. I just had it. As indicated, each company did bid over the budgeted amount, and what we're requesting tonight is authorization to negotiate. G. Batista bid 1.163, 1,163,200. D. Stevenson bid 1.5 million. TGSV bid 1.8 million, and West Construction also bid 1.8 million.
So how we're going to now, that's what they've bid, and if we choose G. Batista as the top ranked and we select the rest of them in the order that we're going to go back to them and negotiate down to the 900,000?
Exactly.
We're going to attempt to negotiate down to the price of that 1 million. If that's our objective, is to get it down to what the dollar amount that was approved by council.
At what point do we see, we sign this contract, we build the building, we've never seen any type of presentation as to how we're going to fund this building going forward, how we're going to staff this building going forward. My fear is that we build a building and then it sits as a shell because we don't have anything to staff it with. I don't know if PAL has a private plan to raise money to. At what point do we get to see how this building operates after we open the doors?
Sure, through the mayor, councilman. PAL has its own board. It's its own nonprofit. There is an item on the agenda regarding our partnership to strengthen that partnership. But basically, I'm confident that the PAL board, once they get the building, they will continue to get funding for their operating costs. It would not be a city budgeted item for their operation costs. It's basically what they will continue to do. If you notice that they have the PAL building now, they fund that. They find funding to go out and.
But that's a much smaller facility. This is much larger.
Correct.
Can we, maybe if the council agrees with me, can we ask PAL to come and give a presentation in the month of December as to what their financial plan is, and then if they need to make it a better presentation in January, et cetera? I know that if we start construction on this building, it's going to be some months before it's ready, but I'd like to know, I want to be supportive of this.
We were doing budget hearing, as a matter of fact, Mr. Galvin, when we talk about the necessity for our children to have tutoring program, sports activity, and PAL. Over the years, have done a wonderful job, and I remember all of us when we run also on the youth in our community. That is why during budget hearing, we set aside money for them. Now, since they do have their own board and they want to build a bigger place that can host more of our children, I don't understand why we have to interfere of what they want in their plan. It's their issue for them to continue that project with the money that was allocated to them to have a bigger place. Now, they have done in the past, I remember several fundraising to raise their own money. They have their own board. It's not ours to micromanage what PAL is doing, as long as we know that we are supportive of this agency to work with our children.
But see, I disagree. We have a fiduciary responsibility. If we're giving them $1 million, we should know, yes, we love you cops, we love you kids, but we should know what their plan is. And if they don't have a plan, we should work in tandem to make sure that when this building opens, it's designed for success, not designed for closing down 6 months later because they didn't have the funds and now we're just using it as a new community center.
I totally disagree. I think we should give them that credit. For years, they have been doing a wonderful job, and so far, I don't think they've run out of or filed for bankruptcy. They have accompanied our youth. And I went to visit the facility as well, and they have won several awards for the work on sports with the kids. I don't think it's our duty. We have so many things to do, councilman, in this city, so many things to watch for, that we don't need to manage somebody, some entity that already have their own boards and doing very well. Do you have any reason to doubt them?
Absolutely not. But
okay, so let's move on.
No. But this facility is much larger than the one they currently operate. Their fundraising capability is going to have to increase at least 5-fold to be able to keep the electricity running, to have staff there, everything else. We're giving PAL $1 million. That's a significant investment of taxpayer dollars. I'd just like to see, simultaneous to this construction moving forward, a financial plan from PAL as to what they're going to do so that this is opened, because it will look bad on all of us if they have to shut it down 6 months later because they don't have any fundraisers in place.
May I?
Yes, Councilman.
I'm sure
Councilwoman
that
Sterill, City Attorney.
City Attorney.
Yes, one of the issues that Councilwoman Sterill has raised in the previous meetings is exactly what you're pointing out, and we have included in this hearing a management and operating agreement between the city and PAL that will address some of your concerns. So that is on this agenda. And part of the agreement details what their fiduciary responsibilities are vis-a-vis the city, what their obligations are, so on and so forth. And I believe at that point, they will be discussing what their fundraising efforts are and how they look to fund and operate the facility.
And I apologize, I've totally overlooked it. What item is that on tonight's agenda?
So it was on the consent agenda as item D as in dog, and
But
it
there
was
was no
pulled to
presentation.
it's been pulled to the regular agenda.
No, I did.
It's part of the regular agenda
No,
now.
that was one of the ones.
That
we
was
pulled?
one of the
Okay.
ones that you
My
pulled.
apologies, I didn't realize that was one of the ones that we pulled.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, tab R, we had a motion from Bien-Aimé. It was seconded by Councilwoman Sterill. Councilwoman Keys.
No.
Just to be clear, this is a vote to approve tab R. Councilwoman Sterill.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
Grudgingly, yes.
Mayor Thundro.
Yes.
Councilman Bien-Aimé.
Yes.
Item passes
Yes.
4-1. Okay, so now we have to go back to R1, which was previously tab D as in dog.
Why can't be David?
Proposed resolution, okay, so it was previously tab D, now it's tab R1. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the execution of a management and operating agreement in substantially the attached form between the city of North Miami and the Police Athletic League of North Miami, Inc., PAL, providing for an effective date and all other purposes.
Citizen forum is open. Citizen forum is now closed. Do I hear a motion? to approve? Motion?
Well, no, where's the presentation? This is D as in dog, this is where they're gonna get up and give us some. Michael McDermott, the chairman of
Okay.
the PAL board, I believe, is here with us tonight. Is he who's giving us the presentation?
Madam Mayor, Mr. Councilman, I think that's my item. If you allow me, I
Okay.
will, did I say Mr. Mayor?
Doesn't matter, no, it doesn't matter.
Oh. What is it? Okay.
D.
Councilwoman, go ahead, please. Proceed.
Item D, couple of months ago, if it's not years, we up here decided to support PAL. I think Councilwoman Kawakis was president of, or chairperson of PAL once. Correct. Okay, and former Mayor Frank Wallen came before us a couple of years ago, introduced PAL to the city of North Miami under the impression that there was a need of programming for our children out there. So at that time, I was newly elected. I supported. 2 years ago, I think, under the leadership of Mayor Pierre, we decided to put aside $1 million from the Biscayne lending money. However, the discussion was not, the money was never an issue. Look into this. I talked to the city attorney and the city manager. I feel that we need to have an agreement with PAL to have a clear understanding what the relationship will be, as we do with MOCA. This item is not a presentation from PAL. I think it's our duty as elected official representing the people to make sure that we conduct the business of the people, to use their taxpayer, not our taxpayers, to use their tax and to serve them. This agreement will reflect of how and what kind of relationship that we will want to have with PAL. I know that I talked to the city attorney several times regarding this item. one of my concern is that not we just building a building or providing a building to PAL is to make sure that we have good use of the building. So right now we do have the time. Instead of whining or asking PAL what they can do for us, let's tell them tonight how and what kind of relationship we will want to have with them. First of all, I think that is a good thing that we're giving our kids and the children of City of North Miami. When I mean my kids are grown women and men, so I don't think that they need PAL right now. But I know that there are much more kids in the city that probably take advantage of that organization. So, Madam City Attorney, if you can at least summarize what the agreement for us, or at least I read it, and I know many of us already read the agreement, at least for the people in your audience or for people that are watching at home. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Sure. Sure. So this is a management and operating agreement, and you stated it's similar to, it's modeled after our agreement with MOCA. So what this agreement will require is that PAL continue its mission, remain a viable, ongoing nonprofit organization, that they have to complete certain financial documents and they have to provide all of those documents to the city. There is a provision in here where the city council will appoint members of your choosing to the PAL board. There was a discussion this afternoon that I had with Councilwoman Keys that suggested that each member of the council should have an opportunity to select one member to serve on the PAL board versus 3 members at large as indicated in this agreement. And of course, this is a draft of an agreement, and whatever provisions you wish to amend, we can certainly do that. They are responsible for keeping their own insurance, and liability issues are all on PAL. They have to manage and keep up the building accordingly. And that's essentially...
So it's an agreement for 99 years
So you currently have a lease
with PAL.
for the underlying land
Okay.
upon which the building will be built
Okay.
that the city entered into for 99 years. So this management and operating agreement would coincide with your current land lease.
Okay.
Here's, Madam Mayor.
Mhm.
With the board member, the choosing of the board members, here's my only issues with us up here choosing the board members. I just want to remind us, myself as well, PAL is not an advisory board to us. They are a separate entity like MOCA that need to raise money. Yes, I can find people in my district or my friends that would love to sit on PAL board, but those people need to be able to raise money. So I would suggest, yes, we can have we can decide to have 1 or 2 people to represent the council, like I wish to have in MOCA as well. But I'm asking you guys to take into consideration that they need to find a board members that actually can bring money to their organization. This is not advisory board where we want someone to represent us to look good and we politicize it and all that. So I'm not in favor of finding 5 or 7 members to represent me, but we need people that actually can bring money. So
Not
that's
only
up to
that,
you guys to go find
Not
the
only
money.
that, I believe that they are a separate entity. They happen to be North Miami, just like as so many other foundation in the city. We should not be there to police them. If we're there to support them, let's truly support them without being the police officers behind them. And I believe that they have, over the years, demonstrate what they are capable of doing, and the results of their work is greatly appreciated. If we have to put board members in PAL, we're going to have to put board members as well in MOCA. And the fact that we are in partnership with them, we are encouraging them, we are there for them, does not give us the right to dictate them how to run their business. And so far, without our dictations, they've been doing wonderful. So if that's going to be the case for PAL. I disagree with the aspect of having council being represented in PAL. If we dare to support them, we either do or we don't.
Madam Mayor, if I could just add, the councilwoman also, in this Article 3, during the city's annual budget process, they have to present us with a expense management report as we do the regular city, with the regular city's budget, and we'll be presenting that as well at the budget hearings.
Thank you.
Okay. So there's a motion. Do I need a motion?
There's a motion. There was a motion.
No, we don't have a motion on this item yet, Mayor.
Thank you.
What would
Point of clarification, we just
Say
talked
that
for a
again.
moment about 2.03, which would refer to the council-appointed 3 members. Do we want to leave that in there, or are we taking that out?
No.
How many
It was not a
Yeah.
motion.
May I ask?
It was
I
just
think it's
an
in there.
idea.
How many members does the board have? Madam
I believe it's 7.
Major,
Yeah.
can you
Yeah,
come to the mic and, what is, I'm sorry.
Seven voting members.
Okay.
How you
And 3
doing?
at large.
Good evening.
And 3 at large members?
Yes.
So let's make it what, 10?
11.
Let's make it,
We have a president,
Seven
vice
plus
president,
three,
secretary, and 3
I
other
know.
executive
They
board
can vote.
members.
Thank
Okay.
you.
so do we have 3 members in the contract? Is that what the councilman said?
So
Do we
in the
have-
current agreement, it's written as 3, but that's up to council.
I see.
It makes a difference. to
Mr.
me.
Clerk.
Okay, so I need a motion and a second. Now, are we gonna pass this item without that provision? How do you guys gonna move
The
forward?
provision is there. It's part of it, isn't it, Madam Attorney?
That's correct. It is currently in the
It
document.
is, it
and
is, it
That's-
is
that's-
part of
that's
it.
You guys wanna pass as is? Okay,
Yeah,
I need a
that's
motion and a
just-
second, Mayor.
Yes.
I
Oh,
move.
I second. Roll call, please.
Okay, Mayor Thundro,
Yes.
Councilman Bieneme,
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilwoman Steril,
Yes.
Here, oh, sorry.
Are you Councilwoman Starr? What is
I
this?
just,
Come on.
sorry.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0. Tab, formerly tab E, now tab RE. R2, tab R2. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the execution of a license agreement for the use of city facilities in substantially the attached form between the city of North Miami and the North Miami Elderly Center for operation of an elderly activity and nutritional program at the Griffin Adult Center, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Public hearing is open. Public hearing is now closed. Do I hear a motion for discussion purpose?
I move it for discussion.
I'll second it for discussion purpose. No question?
Yep.
Mr. Clerk, roll call.
I have
No,
a
no,
question.
I've got
Wait,
plenty
wait,
of
wait,
questions.
I have plenty of
Feel free to open up your
And-
questions.
Okay.
And Madam Mayor, in the 2013-2014 budget, I think $187,000 was allocated to Griffin Adolph Community Center, and out of that money, about 106,000 for 4 employees. I think 2 full-time and 2 part-time leaders. And throughout the year, I think they put together a program for elderly. And I understand this program need to be implemented and work to see if we can bring more people.
What budget year are you
And,
talking about, Mr. Bien-Aimé?
What happened?
What budget year are you talking about?
This budget year,
2013, 2014.
$187,000
Was allocated to who?
to Griffin. Griffin Adolph
Yeah,
Community
that's the
Center.
operating cost.
Yeah, that's the budget between employee and operation.
To maintain the building?
Not maintained for different programs and for elderly. If we're gonna bring another agency, that's gonna work there from 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, it's like we closing the place and we give it to someone else. And as a city council, representing District 3, and after I spoke to different constituents and different residents, and I understand the program that that center gonna be putting in place, and I'm in favor of the program, but I'm not in favor of putting a full-time program inside of Griffin Community Center. And as City Council representing District 3, I'm not in favor of that program
What type of
inside.
activities do you have there now? Mr. Manager, what type of activities do we have?
We have
at the
several
Griffin-
activities, and I think
at the Griffin Senior
I think we
Citizen?
need to bring them.
Mr.
They
Bien-Aimé,
can,
can I listen? Can I listen to what he has to say?
you give me
What
the
type
floor,
of activities?
Madam
No,
Mayor.
excuse me, I'm asking him a question. Just hold on.
Okay.
What type of activities do we have at the Griffin Senior Citizen Center, please?
At this time, during the day, there is a variety of programs that takes place. Different days of the week, there may be pottery, quilting,
Ongoing?
ongoing,
Every day?
yes. And then after school from 2 to 6, we have programs there every day from 2 to 6. And that's dealing with after-school programs.
Who's running the after-school program? And that's part of the $187,000 we voted for?
That's the city staff. The
From-
city staff runs those. all
And
of
Park
those
and Recreation
programs.
also
And
From
Park
whose
Rec.
have
students?
activities inside of that location.
From whose students?
The students are citywide. They come from a variety of schools. It's a program that's available from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Because most of the time I go there, they have kids that are hanging out over there, and the center has a schedule in front of it where it's closed every day, unless the schedule is wrong.
No, it's
When
not
you pass
closed.
by the center, it says from 8 to 6 p.m. close. I would like to know what activities is being done over there, because there is no activities at that center.
Madam
Most
Mayor,
of
if
the
you
time
c-
it's closed.
Madam Mayor, if you call Park and Recreation, there are several
Yeah.
programs inside of that.
Yeah.
I don't think we are here to discuss what type of program do we have inside.
Also, we
And-
don't have any program, but we yet cannot let anybody else use it.
No, Madam Mayor, and
Yes, it's something.
you need to understand, you're talking about a full-time organization that's going to use the community center full-time from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, Monday to Friday, when we have several other programs inside that community center. And on top of that, I think they're going to be distributing food, and I think we need to table that item and sit down with staff, with the Griffin Community Center, all the employees. We're going to find out exactly what they're doing, what the operation hours, and see if we can squeeze an outside organization inside that location. And I rather help the organization find some money to rent another place than let them use the Griffin Community Center.
So the location is the problem, not the program itself. Is that what you're saying,
It's the
Councilman Benjamin?
location,
Okay.
including the program they're doing
Councilwoman
inside.
Steven, you have a, Mr. Councilwoman Steven.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I shared Councilman Bien-Aimé opinion. I don't like to put my opinion on other people's district. However, I think that if we have a building that's underused, and we have an organization that would like to come and show support or bring strength to the actual program that we have, I think we need to support it. But I think that we don't have all the information that we need. Definitely, I don't. I was under the impression that we did not have a program at Griffin Center right now. And I'm hearing from the city manager that we have some type of program. Sometimes when I go there, I don't see too many people in there. But however, I think that I would suggest for us to table this item and then go back, talk to the city manager and allow him to talk to his staff. If he can actually meet with whomever that concern, then we'll bring it back for us to, to
Not only that, I think we need to
table.
table it and let the constituents say what they want.
Let's table it for tonight.
Was that a motion, Mayor?
No, it's not a motion.
I make a motion to table the item.
Second.
Do we have any further, my discussion,
Well,
But you're
it's
either
not,
tabling it
We
or
could-
it's
you're-
going to be
Table.
tabled. You don't
Can't
need to
discuss
discuss it any further.
well, because I'd like to get
Mr.
steps in
Clerk,
order.
roll call,
We
please.
gotta discuss, but-
Councilman Bien-Aimé?
Yes.
And
table
just to
the
be
item.
clear, this is a vote to table tab R2.
For next council meeting.
Councilman Bien-Aimé?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys?
Yes,
Councilwoman Steril?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin?
Yes.
Mayor Thundro?
Yes.
Item passes 5-0. This is seconded by... Okay,
Next.
previously tab F, now tab R3. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving a memorandum of understanding between the city of North Miami and the International Union of Police Associations, AFL.CIO, Local 6008, for the bargaining unit consistent of the city's white-collar employees, authorizing the city manager to execute and to take all actions necessary to offer and implement a voluntary retirement incentive plan to eligible bargaining unit employees, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Mr. Manager, what is the difference between F and G?
F and G.
F and G.
I
What's the
guess it's CIO Local
One is-
6008, 6009.
IUPA is the regular employees, and the other one's the
Police.
No.
police.
The city has a total of 3 unions. IUPA, although it says International Union of Police Association, they represent 2 bargaining classes, the white collar and the blue collar.
Very good. Thank you. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is now closed.
Madam Mayor, I'll ask a
Do I have a
question.
motion?
I'll ask a question. if I might.
Discussion? We need to have a motion.
Move for approval for discussion.
Second.
All right, thank you. I don't understand. If we've already essentially approved the early retirement plan, is these 2 negotiations related to the early retirement plan that we've essentially already approved? And if that's the case, aren't we putting the cart before the horse by approving a plan before we've negotiated with the unions? Because what if the unions don't like the plan? I don't understand why.
You have to know what you negotiate.
So, as you know, we've had, and we have an ordinance on this hearing for the second reading of the EREP. Okay, what that does is implement an early retirement incentive plan for general employees. Okay, so for us to offer anything to those that are in a collective bargaining unit, the bargaining unit has to, as you stated, they have to accept. So they met, they voted, and they ratified accepting the EREP. And so now what this is a memorandum of understanding between the city and both bargaining units.
So they already accepted.
So they said yes.
We just want to say, okay, you
so
welcome your
we're
yes.
correct.
Okay,
So we're ratifying what they've ratified, essentially.
understood.
Makes sense.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions, Madam Keys?
no
No.
question.
Mr. Clerk? Where's Council-
Councilwoman Keys?
No,
Councilwoman Steril?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin?
No?
Mayor Thundro?
Yes.
Councilman Bien-Aimé?
He went to the restroom. Maybe we should go to recess.
Well, no, we've got a motion and a vote, so it's failed, and you
We
have to
went
come
to
back
the
at the
res-
next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Mayor can take a recess.
But
We
you
can
can't
take a
take a
recess.
recess after the, I mean, we're already in the process of voting. You can't call we should have called the recess before the vote
Sure
began.
she can.
We're in the midst of a vote.
Can I or
though.
can I not legally?
Yes, you can.
I call it recess.
Bless you.
I'm just kidding. I'm not the mayor.
Yes.
Bless you.
Let me. I need to pee. anyway.
so funny.
We're in the
I'm
middle
sorry,
of
what
a
are we
vote.
doing, Mayor? Are we calling recess? Okay.
Okay, we can bring it back.
It's not a problem to bring it back. It's definitely not a problem to bring it back. But consider this as a vote for the next item. We're going to take a recess.